Good evening, wrestling community, and welcome to another edition of Wrestle Talk Show. I'm your host, Joshua Zimmerman, here to bring you your professional wrestling news for February 8th, 2011. Stone Cold Steve Austin to host WWE Wrestler Development reality show, Tough Enough. And this will segue into a viewer comment. Stone Cold is quoted as that he wanted back in the WWE to help mold the future wrestlers of tomorrow, which I said makes sense. You know, you have your Kevin Nash's, you have your Hulk Hogan's, but have them write the new wrestling. Have it mean something. You know, they wrote the Attitude Era and everything we love. So you're paying Hulk Hogan this ridiculous amount of money. You're paying Kevin Nash a Legends contract for his name and likeness. Turn around and make it a creative deal. These guys built their characters. They know storytelling. Why is Freddie Prinze Jr. being allowed to write for wrestling, but he doesn't wrestle himself? My thought's always been, if you're going to have these legends around, keep them to where they still mean something. You're going to run out of your heydays of where you're good for TV, but I've always argued they could still write, they could still do promos and manager spots and stuff like that, but to actually have them out there and wrestle, it's no wonder the ratings average what they average on WWE, well, not WWE as much as TNA, but we'll call him Pac-Man for the show, commented on the show, why bring back Tough Enough or Diva Search? And Tough Enough has a great platform if you're going to treat it seriously. Diva Search, I don't think, has a fighting chance because you don't treat your divas that are already on the payroll as anything serious. So why go out and look for something else that you're not going to take serious? And where we mock TNA, we'll credit them, is this past week's Impact was the knockouts drew better than the actual wrestlers did. So you've got to wonder, you know, they might have a lot of things screwed up, but I've always said WWE can build another Trish Stratus, can build another China. They just have to do it. But to answer the question, Pac-Man, I think it's just something else for them to have on TV, something else that will draw ratings. I think Diva Search should be scrapped. Like I said, you're not going to take the ones you have seriously. Why go out and look for more? Tough Enough is done right. Let's see what happens. But no, NXT wasn't enough because there's always something Vince McMahon can get money from. And that'll be explained in a minute. Super Bowl champion quarterback Aaron Rodgers accepts a commemorative WWE title on the Letterman show Super Bowl night, and no major problem at that except for, you know, in the wrestling world, I think my only argument is it doesn't make your championship look prestigious if every other guest host gets a title, and that's not a literal, that's just sarcasm. Jerry Lawler, the new number one contender for the WWE title versus Miz. Mr. McMahon character reinstated on live TV and to return with a major announcement on next week's Raw. Now you gotta wonder why they bring back Mr. McMahon, because we know that he only uses that for when he knows it's gonna work. He loves to hate. He's a character that you love to hate, so you got to wonder what he's got up his sleeve. And I think long term, it's a complete rotation if they do it right. You'll have Kevin Nash behind the scenes. You'll have the Mr. McMahon character, and maybe you can start bringing back the wrestling entertainment. I mean, when WWE isn't marketed like it is wrestling, they don't even use the word wrestling in their marketing. So, move it up with that. You need to start treating as wrestling. The new Nexus, last night runs wild all over Raw, taking out uh, Randy Orton, John Morrison, R-Truth, and Sheamus.
I told her to stay off my
This
shit.
can't help but feel like an original Nexus, what they wanted with the original Nexus, where it takes over the program / company. But look where we're at now.
Next time she does it,
John Cena is being screened in the next WWE film. So you got to think that they've seen the Triple H reviews for The Chaperone, as his movie will be in 3 theaters for 3 days and then go to a predetermined Walmart deal. And I love how they say select theaters like it's something special when you find out it's only like 3 of them. But we'll see what happens. Shawn Michaels will be involved in the WWE's international tour later this month. Dates and appearances for him have been scheduled at pwtorch.com. We want to give a shout out to our friends at smartwrestlingfan.com. Their name is their address. Their show is 6 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. They cover the week in professional wrestling, as we do. And it's a good show, and I encourage that you listen to it. And like we announced yesterday, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, we're working on a marketing plan to market the show to local businesses, and eventually what I hope will be we can get the production beefed up, get it longer than, because I've always argued I want videos longer than 15 minutes. I don't have to do 2-parters. If I had an hour, I could give you an hour. If I did like a round table with another, like when I do the call-ins with Jimmy, it could be a back and forth. I really want to make the show something, and we are meaningful when we say the show isn't outdated just for the sake of being outdated. When we relaunch it, we want the member site to be vamped the way we want it vamped. I actually want, I want longer streaming time. I want to be able to actually do the show live if I choose to, rather than pre-recorded, and just different things. Give you a better view than my apartment. Just take the show seriously, because your viewership means that you take it seriously. And comments like Pac-Man's, that, like we mentioned a minute ago, make the show that much better, because it's back and forth with me and you. So let's work together to make this as successful as possible. As always, thank you for the viewership. Friend us at both Facebook and Twitter at CWE Company. Send show-related emails to cwecompany@gmail.com. Visit our forums and interactive material at WrestleTalkShow.webs.com. A lot of questions in the forums area, interactive space. I do get back to everything that's sent to me. Friend us on YouTube. Subscribe to us, youtube.com/CWE Company. And our segment of the night. Mr. McMahon coming back. You gotta wonder. A light went off in my head. I don't know about yours, but it was commented very recently. That's how eerie it is. It was commented recently through PW Torch and Smart Wrestling Fan that the Mr. McMahon character isn't used unless he knows it's going to work. He doesn't come out on TV on something that he doesn't support. So he's not going to job like another wrestler would who's being paid by him. That's why, thus the jobbers and whatnot. So you have to wonder. I'm trying to stay optimistic about this, but you have the hiring of a Legends deal with Kevin Nash, and you have Mr. McMahon coming back as an on-screen character, and you have old school meets new school with the Jerry Lawler and Miz feud. Jerry Lawler getting his title shot after years with the company, never got a title shot, now getting it against one of the best newcomers in the business, and they make it look great. It's the wrestling of the past, and it's not a duplication of anything. It's not the Attitude Era repeat like the Marks talk about. It's staying in wrestling and not worrying about the entertainment, making the entertainment the wrestling. That's the point. So it kind of makes me optimistic They mentioned that maybe Nash would do a little bit of writing, and you bring back Stone Cold Steve Austin. Maybe you'll get some viewers back. I think you'd get a lot more viewers if he said he was going to come back to wrestle, but with all his medical conditions, that it's not going to happen. Maybe one more pop match. Everybody says they're done, and then they manage to come back. But that's my question for the night, and what you think. Do you think that this is a major internal change, considering all the recent behind-the-scenes news of WWE and the financial community and the shaky ground ratings have been on? Do you think that this is a change to where everything is going back to where it should be, to where our wrestling matters, and it's not just about our cable rating? Let me know what you think. Like I said, right here on youtube.com/CWE Company. Until tomorrow, wrestling fans, stay tuned. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow.